What's up? What's up, everybody? Welcome into another episode, Jammin with J Money. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Y'all hit the like button and subscribe. Make sure you guys go over to sportsreview.com. Check out the odds, the picks we have, articles over there for myself, Junior, and Jordan Sharp as well, and all type of guys, man. We got all type of articles over there, all type of sports, man. What's up, man? It's Saturday. We're trying to get to some money, man. It's been a lot of moving parts lately in the NBA, guys. What's up, Jordan? What's up, Junior? What's up, Teddy? Everything good with you guys? What's up, Teddy?
No complaints, man. I'm running pretty good the last couple of days, so I can't argue. Today is a particularly confusing day in the betting markets as when it comes to who's going to play and who isn't. We'll do our best to sort through that info for you and give you accurate, as best we have it, information.
What up, Junior? Everything good with you, brother?
Yeah, I haven't been here for a couple of days. Good to see you guys again. Love doing the show. It's been quiet for me this week. I haven't, like we were just talking about before the show, haven't really been making too many plays because just having a hard time figuring out any kind of patterns in these games, man. One day, what you see, like we've said all week, you can't take what you saw in the last game and apply it to the next game because these teams seem to still be figuring themselves out and getting into playoff mode. I can't wait for the playoffs to start so I can start making some real heavy bets, though.
Some real heavy bets. Hey, can't wait, man. Then we definitely gonna start to see a pattern when the same teams playing each other, man. You can't tell me that we ain't. But to recap yesterday, man, the Jazz start off their game. Start off the day, the Jazz faced the Spurs. A lot of moving parts there. Jazz rest their top four players. The line ended up moving from Jazz favored by 2.5. Then it went to Spurs minus 1.5. Then it went to about 7.5, 8.5, 9. So it was pretty crazy. But the Spurs ended up winning by 8 points there. The game ended up going over. Spurs ended up winning that one 119, 111. The OKC Thunder ended up taking a loss by them their 30 points to the Grizzlies there. We know that they rested Steven Adams there pretty much. It almost seemed like OKC just gave up in that game, and they were up 12 in the first quarter. Then Grizzlies outscored them by 15. We know that they're still motivated, even though they were 0-4 coming into the game. They still motivated to try to at least stay in that playoff race. Can't just lose out, even though they've lost Jaren Jackson third. Grizzlies get the job done 121-92, man, as underdogs there. The Nets end up beating up on the Kings, man. The Kings, they rested. They worked from the rest Holmes and Bazemore. Just end up resting Bazemore. Holmes end up playing. They end up taking loss 106-119 to the Nets there. Pretty crazy game as well. Nets clinched their playoff, which we know the Nets and the Magic already clinched the playoffs, even though they hadn't. I mean, the Magic hadn't officially done it. They end up taking loss as well, 101-108 to the 76ers yesterday. 76 ended up getting the cover there, guys. Teddy, they ended up getting it done. What you think about that game?
It wasn't pretty. It wasn't easy for Philly. And I mean, again, Orlando without Gordon, you know, there's certainly issues there for the Magic. They played. I mean, the Magic have looked bad the last three games. So I give more Orlando bad than Philly good in that contest. A lot like Memphis and OKC, you know, where, I mean, OKC was wide awake early, and then when Memphis went on their run in the second quarter, the Thunder were like, yeah, whatever. You know, there wasn't that sense of urgency from OKC yesterday, much like there wasn't one from Utah yesterday. It was in Sacramento, who's supposed to have a sense of urgency on the second of back-to-backs. They didn't show a whole lot of it. So we're really seeing the teams with a sense of urgency coming through on a game in, game out basis. You know, the last 6 minutes of that fourth quarter. It's definitely worth noting, though. I want to talk about the line for Utah-San Antonio, which in theory landed right in the middle. Mm-hmm. You know, you said it opened Utah minus 2.5, closed Spurs 8.5, 9, and they win by 8. Talked to a couple of bookmakers. They're like, nah, we didn't really get middled on that because the 2.5, the early lines didn't last long, and the markets had moved already 8, 8.5. It ended up being a decent result for the books, despite the fact that it looks like it landed right in the middle of this huge line move. It wasn't quite as bad as it looked for bookmakers.
Exactly. And then the Wizards versus the Pelicans yesterday. Pelicans actually ended up picking it up, man. It was actually some defense being played in that game. I was watching it. I wanted to watch it closely after that first quarter because I noticed that they came out. They had a really hot shooting first quarter. So I'm looking at it. I'm saying like, this game is not. They got it on pace for 240. I say this game is not going 240 points because they're actually playing defense. They started out with like 20-some points in the first 4 minutes, and then it slowly, gradually came just flattened out. Say, I got to hop on some live here, man. I already hopped on the under there. My guy Teddy had talked. I was already thinking it was too many damn points in this particular spot. Wizards had already went under. The Pelicans was 3-1 to the under as well. So I'm watching the game. I said, man, I'm finna hop on this shit again, man. I got to. And in that game ended up flying under the total there. The Pelicans ended up getting the cover as well. But it's crazy to say both teams are actually playing defense in the game. They missed a couple of layups as well, help us out though. But the Pelicans get the cover as well. I know a lot of people kind of thought it was going to be the Wizards was going to get them done, which they were for a while. Pelicans pulled away in the second half, 118-107. And the shot, man, we got to talk about the shot. The Celtics smacked the Raptors up pretty much up by 40 points, even though the Raptors come back a little bit. Man, that shot at the end of the fourth quarter, if you had the under, I'm praying for. I mean, that just goes to show you how this bubble life been crazy in NBA, Junior. I know you might not, if you even if you didn't have a bet on it. I know the Raptors are a team. Or did you watch that game? Did you see that shot that messed off the over and under? It opened at 219 and a half. I think it was 220 and a half, somewhere around that. Closed at 221 and a half. And then late three with meaningless three made it in 122-100. Man, if you had the over, I'm sure you were happy as hell, though, Junior.
I'm not going to lie to you. I didn't see that shot for one specific reason. The Raptors have 57 points after 3 quarters, and I wanted to throw up. That's one of the worst games I've ever seen the Raptors play. This is 3 times in a row they've been smacked by the Celtics now. They got a Celtics problem. It'll be interesting to see if these two teams match up in the playoffs, how that goes. But it's pretty obvious that the Raptors' kryptonite right now is Boston for whatever reason. So, no, I didn't see that. I saw it on the news this morning, but I didn't see it live.
I know Teddy did.
Oh, yeah. So, you 57 points in the first 3 quarters and then 43 in the fourth of a 74-point fourth quarter. That was absolutely brutal if you had the under in that game. There have been some tough beats in the bubble. There have been some tough beats, but that game had 35 points in the first quarter. It was dead nuts under the entire way. And then to see the late flurry and the late 3 go in, the bad beats are going to happen inevitably. But if you had the under in that one, that was a particularly tough one. That was a kick in the nuts.
It's exactly nothing short of that. But and I must say, man, that was, as a basketball player, that's disrespectful as well. I mean, they dribble out the 24-second clock. They don't. The Celtics don't even take a shot. I was thinking that they might go and do obviously all the bench players in there. Man, they gotta say, nah, I'm finna bust this 3, make this lead look a little less. We gotta at least get to triple digits, man. But that's tough there, man. Maybe some of his family members had the over or something, man. But nah, I'm messing with you guys, man. Let's get to let's get to today's slate, man. We can only recap yesterday just for a little bit. People probably already leaving the show, man. Man, nobody want to hear about yesterday. People pissed. I know I am about yesterday, man. The Kings, I wasn't gonna buy off of it. I took it overnight, man. It's all good. We'll get the cheddar back. We'll get it back. Today, man, first game of the day, we got the Clippers versus the Blazers here, man. Know the Blazers need to win. Open it. I remember it was yesterday it was Clippers. This was the only line out. It was Blazers plus 4.5. Then it was 3.5. Then 3. Then obviously we get the Leonard news. Today went to a pick up to Blazers 3, 3.5, 4 now. So we might even see 4.5s now. The Blazers look good. Whiteside he hadn't been playing his full minutes, but he won't be coming off the bench today. He is out for this game. Be interesting to see. The Clippers are still a deep team. If Paul George is still going to play, if everybody's going to play for the Clippers other than Kawhi, what you think on this particular game, Junior?
I'm going to tell you right now that it makes me very nervous that everybody just thinks the Blazers are going to win this game automatically. The Clippers are still in a position where, and it's kind of weird to listen to some people talk. And when I say people, we all watch certain shows just to get as much information as possible. It's weird to hear people talk about the standings as if there's still some kind of home court advantage. Really, the standings only matter for matchup purposes, right? So that being said, I just think that the Clippers would rather stay where they're at, just to avoid the Lakers until the conference finals, if that's the way we're looking at it. So the Clippers still have a lot to play for. So do the Blazers, obviously, because they're trying to get into the playoffs. But I just think to assume that this Blazers team is going to wash this Clippers team just because Kawhi Leonard is out, it's a little premature. If it was a situation where the Blazers were favored by one possession, then maybe. But that -4, I can't touch that. I would actually lean Clippers, or I just would stay away from this game.
I wouldn't argue out of that as well, man. Like I say, getting the Blazers catching 4 and then laying 4 is a big difference. It's damn near 9. It's pretty much, in my eyes, that's a 9-point fucking difference, man. What you think, Teddy?
So is Kawhi worth 9 points? And Beverly, and of course, Montrezl Harrell's not going to play today either. He hasn't played yet.
You got Sweet Lou back.
It seems like a significant adjustment. I'll just put it that way. But we've seen here in the bubble the right sides are the right sides. The teams that are coming to play are coming to play. We know what Portland's going to do. All right, Portland's coming tonight, or today, I should say. I don't know that we can say that about the Clips. The Clips have alternated wins and losses. They're coming off a nice win against that. It's worth noting both losses only by 2 points. But they're coming off a comfortable win over Dallas in which they did a lot of the things right that they wanted to do. I don't know the urgency's there. So, excuse me. It's too late to bet Portland. All right. If you're trying to bet teams after the lines moved 8 or 9 points, best of luck. But it's not a profitable long-term strategy. But from a side standpoint, I'm not really interested in taking the Clips on a day where I understand every book is going to be worth. This isn't like Utah, San Antonio yesterday where the line moved all in one fell swoop. I mean, this has just been steady Portland money for the last 12 hours. So the books will definitely have a position to be rooting heavily for the Clippers today. But it's not like I'm looking at the Clips and saying, because of this move, I'm going to change my opinion about the game. Portland's a one-way team. I'm not betting against the Blazers right now, but the price isn't right. And certainly not anymore.
Exactly. Guys in the chat, man, going crazy. Same say Clippers won Blazers in 8th versus Lakers. So they're basically saying Clippers want to lose on purpose so that they help the Blazers get in the 8th spot.
So I've heard that from sharp guys. All right. I've
been hearing it a lot now. I just think that shit funny though.
It makes sense though, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. It does.
It makes all the sense in the world.
Right.
Actually.
It makes a lot. No, it makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I already told y'all, man. The Grizzlies ain't. I mean, even if it's a play-in game, nah, bro.
I just think that not to cut you off, my guy. I just think that a lot of that has to do with Dame and CJ. If you just look at the Lakers roster, little quick guards. That's their kryptonite. Without Avery Bradley, they literally don't have anybody on their roster. I know. Never mind. I was going to say a name. I ain't going to say his name. They don't really have anybody on the roster that can. I was going to say Alex Caruso because he plays pretty good defense, but he plays like 17, 18 minutes a game, right? So Dame could go 35 a game against the Lakers realistically, and then who's guarding CJ? So I can see why people would want the Lakers to have to play the Blazers. Not to say the Blazers are going to beat them, but they'll give them a
run for they'll definitely give them a run for their money. Pretty much anybody more than the Pelicans will. I'll tell you that much, man. The way them boys play, they so streaky. You don't even know if they like playing out there. But yeah, like they say, I mean, I said the same thing. I'm not betting against Portland right now, even though I feel like it is a huge adjustment. I mean, it's like it's a huge overreaction. It's like I don't want to take the ass into the line, man. It's just pretty much that simple. The Clippers still have a pretty deep team. I was thinking honestly that they would rest PG and Kawhi. Then I'll be like, oh, okay, I can see why the Blazers -4. But I mean, as far as we know, it's still PG Cylinder. It's only Kawhi. So it's still a tricky game. The Blazers, in theory, I mean, the way that they're playing right now, it's tough to bet against them. Like I say, Whiteside is out. We'll see if their bench can get enough done. The Clippers are still a pretty deep team. It's really a scary game, man. What you think about the total real quick, Junior? Or if you don't have none on the Teddy, what you think about the total 234, open at 234 down to 231.5? You guys think, Teddy, do you think there'll be some defense play in this game?
Yeah, I'd rather have under than over in this one. It's not one I'm going to play. But let's not forget, Portland's coming off a game in which they hit everything. All right, they shot lights out the other night. So did the Clippers. They're coming off that game where they hung 126 on Dallas, and they shoot 55% from the floor in that game. So we have both teams coming off pretty strong offensive shooting performances. Lillard coming off that game where he's hitting all the threes. And one would anticipate without Kawhi, Clippers may up the defense. I understand Kawhi's a stopper, but I also understand that when a team's mentality, when their stopper is off the court, sometimes see some pretty strong defensive effort. Lean under, but again, it's nothing I got to the window with.
Got you, Junior. Any look at the total on this game?
No, actually, I would lean under for something that for similar reasons as to Teddy. Like, for example, there's a couple of these teams that have guys that are just playing out of their minds, and I just don't think you can really count. Is Gary Trent Jr. going to keep averaging 20 points a game? I don't think so. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. It's very
in the zone.
Yeah, he's in the zone, and it's great. But once he comes back to reality, so are their score totals. The same thing in Denver. Michael Porter Jr. is a great player, and I think he has the potential to be a 20-point-a-game scorer at some point in his career if his back problems are behind him. But he's dropping like 29 a game in the last couple of games right now. Those things just can't really last. So that total with all of the people that are missing in this game just seems way too high to me.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, hey, these guys. That's one thing I have noticed. I mean, they just seem to excel in the bubble. It's almost like, I mean, they're hot, but it's like, I don't know if it will slow down. These are young guys. It's almost like AAU basketball out here, tournament, you know what I'm saying, games. Damn near, man. I mean, I know a lot of people say they didn't want to bet on the scrimmage games. All these games, especially before the playoffs, all these games are damn near almost like preseason game or scrimmage games. Even though some teams really have something to play for, other teams are really just kind of going through the motions, trying to stay healthy. That's exactly what the quotes that you see in the preseason. We're just pretty much trying to stay healthy, trying to build team chemistry. I mean, not really trying to win, basically, is what they saying. So Teddy, he going to look at them quotes and stuff. I just really feel like it's a lot of really, you know what I'm saying, up in the, you never really know what you're going to get with certain teams. What you got?
No, I got a question for you guys, because one of my good friends, Jerry, who watches the show all the time, shout out to him.
What up, Jerry?
He had a theory that I want to see if you guys buy into, because he was saying the bubble, without fans, without the pressure of the crowd, a lot of these role players are hitting more shots. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like the stars are stars. They don't care if they're on the road, at home, empty gym, full gym. They're going to do what they do. But a lot of the lesser players who, nerves might be a factor, they just seem to be hitting everything. Like, if you just go up and down the statistics, there's some guys right now, they're not putting up big numbers, but their percentages and their numbers are much improved over what we've seen in the regular season. What do you guys think about that? The role players might be playing better in this environment.
I'll let you touch on that, Teddy, before we get to the next game real quick.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a strong answer. So, number one, I do think there's a lot of role players that are playing better. And, you bring up Gary Trent, you bring up Michael Porter Jr. I'm going to talk about Michael Porter Jr. in a minute. We talk about the Jazz and the Nuggets, so I'll save that. But you say, all right, Gary Trent's been hot, and now he's going to cool off. Why? When you find a guy who's getting a measure of confidence, okay, and the 15th guy off the bench in the NBA is going to be the best player you've ever seen, when no one's guarding him or when he has the opportunity. I mean, the role players in the league, every one of them, given the right circumstances and the right spot and the right mentality, could become a 20-point-per-game scorer. And when you see a guy that's taking that next level, as we speak, you're Gary Trent's of the world. In my mind, I'm either riding that guy, or I'm not going to assume that there's an inevitable regression to the mean with a player who's getting more playing time and producing with that more playing time and now stepping up. So I don't know if I answered the question or not. It's an interesting question. Why are we seeing so many of these role players step up? And nobody has a definitive answer. But I think some of it, at least, is that they're pretty freaking good, and now they're getting more playing time.
Got you. And like I say, like you say, Michael Porter Jr. We finna get into this Jazz versus Nuggets game right now. Hey, you giving him the minutes. Now he's showing what he can do, man. He's a versatile player. Like you say, I mean, we know he could have been number one overall draft pick if it wasn't for the injury. So the Nuggets pretty much, we knew that they kind of got a steal, even without seeing them. When some of these teams take a player and there's nobody seeing his play, or you know what I'm saying, not a whole lot. It's like, man, this guy gotta be something, man. Like Kyrie Irving, remember he was injured coming out. You see what happened, man. So sometimes you got to take a chance on guys, man. We got a lot of moving parts with this one as well. With Donovan Mitchell is still pretty much the status of pretty much Mitchell and Gobert for the Jazz. You got anything on this one, Teddy?
So reading the Salt Lake papers, they think that Utah's tanking for the 6th seed.
Right. I said that yesterday, didn't I?
And they played like it yesterday. And it makes sense from Utah's standpoint to be looking at the 6th seed as opposed to, one of the others. Quinn Snyder's a smart enough guy to figure that stuff out. We don't know yet, obviously, and not obviously, but we don't know exactly who's going to play.
Either team.
Mitchell's still a question about. Royce O'Neal's going to play. Mike Conley's going to play. I believe Rudy's going to play today. Jamal Murray's still questionable for Denver, but Denver's coming off a loss. Denver's played, despite the injuries to their starting guards and missing starters every game. The Nuggets have played extraordinarily well. And I'll tell you this: if you think what you're seeing out of Michael Porter Jr. is a flash in the pan, this guy, had he come out of high school, he would have been the number one overall pick. He would have been the LeBron James or the Kyrie Irving. But he was forced to go to college. There was issues with his eligibility. There was issues with injuries. And he has certainly shown, I mean, this is not a mirage, what we're seeing from Michael Porter. If he put up 30 again today, I wouldn't be shocked in the slightest. This isn't ball. This isn't a project that's going to take a year or two. This is a guy who's NBA ready. He's shown it. I got Denver in pocket. I got minus 1.5 the prevailing line. I wouldn't talk anyone out of that.
This isn't ball. You got Teddy hilarious, man. What you got, Junior? What you think about this? Spicy nuggets? I hadn't went to Wendy's. I'm gonna tell you guys, I don't really go to fast food like that a lot. Oh man, and I ain't going to Wendy's today. But what you think, Junior? Little spicy nuggets action. They 2-0 versus Jazz already this year.
Yeah, I'm in pocket. I'm there with Teddy, and I want to just touch on something because even though I said I think Michael Porter Jr. is going to regress, even if he regressed, he's still going to average like 20 a game. He's dropping like 29 points a game.
He's a monster.
He's a monster. And listen, if you actually pay attention to basketball, Michael Porter Jr., there's clips of him back in the day in high school giving it to NBA guys. So it's not shocking to see him score. I think I'm kind of shocked to see that you go from basically DNPs to giving guys 30. That's a little bit more shocking. So when I say he's going to regress, I'm saying he's going to regress something closer to like 18 to 20 a game, which for a rookie is incredible. That being said, I don't like anything I see from Utah right now. Denver's defense has me a little bit concerned because it hasn't looked good the last couple of games. But just matchup-wise, I just think that Denver is one of those teams, they don't rely on one guy. Jokic is balling. He's not scoring a ton of points, but if you're 7 feet and you average 7 assists a game, you're balling. I'm sorry to tell you that. If you guys don't understand that watching, he's playing out of his mind right now. I've criticized him a lot. He's in shape. Skinny Jokic is obviously working. Michael Porter Jr. is balling. And they just got a lot of pieces, a lot of guys that just play hard. Mike Malone obviously doesn't accept anything less. And Teddy mentioned the Jazz tanking. I mean, we can't prove that, but their effort does not look like it's there to me. At 1.5, I mean, if this line was over 3, I would stay away from it. But at 1.5, I got Denver in my pocket.
Got you. Yeah, my guy Mario say, man, this not real meat. So I'm staying. He say it's not real meat, man. So I'm staying off of him. But yeah, I said on the show yesterday that I don't think that them boys are serious right now about that. They want to tank pretty much so that they can face this very same team. So you really look at it, it would go a long way. I mean, it's pretty much like a 2-game or like a full game difference. If the Jazz lose this one, then Denver go up one, and it's pretty much saying, hey, that's who we want to face in the the playoffs. So obviously, so Teddy, I just wanted to ask you one thing here. Have you seen anything on Mitchell? Because obviously Royce O'Neal, everything. Two players that came back, they saying that they're going to play. It's not the 4 stars anymore. We just don't know about Gobert and Mitchell, right, Teddy?
Yeah, I haven't seen anything on Gobert,
right?
And so I think he's going to play. Mitchell's the question mark, is what I'm seeing. Mitchell's the one who's actually hurt. He's got a leg injury, and we'll see if he plays. But the number right here is a Utah's. My number was 2 with Utah starters in.
Right.
So for what it's worth, with all of Utah starters in. So if Mitchell doesn't play, we will see money.
Right.
I believe this is the markets think Mitchell's going to play line. If he doesn't, I would expect Denver money.
Got you. Yeah, no. If they announce that Mitchell is out, then that's shooting up to 4 for sure, 4.5, and it will be very telling as well. Let's get to the next game. We got the Lakers versus the Pacers. Just saw that Danny Green is ruled out. LeBron is going to play. AD is going to play for the Lakers. I don't like the way they led. I don't like the way AD led. I'm not saying PJ Tucker is weak or anything. I'm not saying that he's a bad defender or anything, but AD just passing the ball. He didn't want none, no smoke, not even a little bit. This is like, I don't know. I don't like seeing it. The favored by 6 now. Lakers favored by 6. Total open up at 216.5 up to 218.5. Junior, what you think about this spot?
I'm just going to be really quick in this spot because I just think that with all of the up and down play that we've seen just from everybody in the bubble, I can't really get invested from teams that have already clinched. I'm really trying to stay away from these teams that have no motivation to win games anymore. Not to say that the Lakers are not trying to improve going into the playoffs, but you just said something about AD. Did AD look like he really wanted to be played? He looked like he was like, yo, LeBron's off. How come I can't get a day off, man? That's what he looked like he was thinking. I want no parts of the Lakers at all. And I mean that both ways. I'm not fading them. I'm not laying with them. Because the Lakers are still a talented team. They can go out there and beat anybody, but without motivation, how do I even really know what I'm betting on? So I'm not in the Lakers business until the playoffs start.
The only thing I'm betting on right now is motivation. Either I'm betting against it or I'm betting on it. And if it's up in the air, I'm leaving it alone. I learned my lesson with that, Teddy. What you got in this game?
So there's 22 teams in the bubble. The Lakers rank dead last in scoring per game. Field goal percentage, and the one that really stands out, 3-point. They're 23% from beyond the arc in the bubble. Okay. Danny Green sitting, quote, offensively, we haven't been great. Everybody knows that. Frank Vogel, who, by the way, not that it matters, but he's 0-8 all time against his former team. Vogel's first head coaching job was in Indiana. But Vogel, quote, I do believe in percentages. I do believe in guys trusting in the work they're putting in. The law of averages plays out, and I'm okay getting all these misses out of the way now. Vogel's like, our offense is fine. I saw a quote from Anthony Davis prior to the Rockets game. And in retrospect, I'm an idiot for not betting Houston after seeing the quote, but Anthony Davis was exactly the same. He's like, yeah, we're struggling a little bit, but we'll be fine. It's no big deal. That said, there's going to be the game. The Lakers are going to hit some shots. This might be that game. Here's a quote from Brogdon that concerns me, which is why I'm definitely not taking Indiana today. Quote, I think we're a little bit tired. This is a tough run that we're on. A lot of games in a short number of days. We're going to do our best to try to win games heading into the playoffs, blah, blah, blah. But it is a grueling and brutal scheduling stretch here for Indiana. And the Lakers are due to hit some shots. If I had to play, I would look at the LA side before I looked at the Indiana side, but it's not a game I'm involved with currently.
Gotcha. Yeah, and the line was, this line moving all over the place. Obviously, we're going to see a bunch of stuff happening. The big thing with Indiana is T.J. Warren and Miles Turner are both questionable here, both with ankle and foot injuries. So we'll see if, in my opinion, if they're listing questions the day before, then they're probably going to sit them out. That's probably why we see the Lakers favored by that, because we know a lot of money is still going to come against them. A lot of moving parts in this game, man. Be real interesting to see if the Lakers can get off, can get back, get over the hump shooting wise, and I mean, they still come to play defense, but it's sitting guys. It's like LeBron AD playing, but it's like, do they really care? Are they tired of talking to reporters? We thought that the last game they kind of had a little opportunity versus the Rockets. I don't know, man. The Lakers are something else right now, man. Let's get to the next game. A real intriguing one. We got the Suns versus the Heat here. Another one. You know, the Suns playing everybody. They playing hard. It's another one where this is a team that's really motivated. It's tough. It'll be tough to bet against this team. You got the Heat here. They've been alternating wins and losses here. Been showing that they can play with pretty much anybody. I mean, they do have. We're gonna see. It'd be interesting if Dragic comes back. Kendrick Nunn had left. He's left the bubble here, so they won't have him. Obviously, Jimmy Butler's out, and Dragic, like I say, he's questionable today. Be interesting to see if he's gonna come back as well. What you think about this game here, Junior? Can't bet against the Suns right now, can you?
It's funny that you say that because I want to put the Heat money line in my pocket so bad, bro. Like, I really, really want to get involved in that. But in the first game of the season, I think Phoenix was -7 against the Wizards, if I'm not mistaken. And I made the statement, why would the Suns be favored by that much against anybody? And ever since then, all they've done is look really, really good. So for me to say I'm going to step in front of the Suns right now, I can't really do that. I want to be in the Heat business, but I'm staying away from the Suns. I like what I see from some of their younger guys. I mean, they're all young guys pretty much, but Cam Jordan, I wasn't really too sure how he's going to pan out in the NBA, but I mean, he's got the size. I think he grabbed 12 rebounds in the last game, put up like 9 threes. He only hit 2 of them, but they can get some 3-and-D from him. We know what Michael Bridges can do as a member of that Villanova national championship team. He's a 3-and-D guy. If they can get some of these peripheral guys rolling until Kelly Oubre comes back next season, the Suns could finally be on a team on the rise, man. Despite what Draymond Green said the other day about get Booker out of Phoenix, you calm down with all that tampering, Draymond. Let that boy stay in Phoenix. But now
I don't know why they got him on there anyway, bro.
And don't even get me started on this guy. But anyways, in terms of this game, I'm off it only because of how hot the Suns are. I can't step in front of the Suns right now.
Exactly. Teddy, what you think about that? You think that that'll motivate the Suns tonight, saying that that Book need to get out there? They've been having some big games come out. They're 4-0 since the restart, man. During these season games, they're gunning for that 8th playoff spot, or at least 9th, or to get within that 4 games for a little play-in tournament. What you think about this game? Suns, everybody seems to be on them here. Teddy went from 2.5, now they're favored by 2 here. What you got for me?
So let me start with this. I got a rule about a handful of these teams, and it's something we're going to pay attention to more when the playoffs start, which is there are a good handful of teams that you don't want to be betting off a loss. Miami's coming off a loss for the season, 20-6 ATS in this role. They've been not just good, they've been extraordinary. Anytime you're talking about cashing better than 3 out of 4 tickets over the course of a full season, that's something worth paying attention to. And it's already worked here in the bubble, where they bounced back from their first loss and looked pretty darn good against Boston the next time out, despite playing shorthanded. I'm willing to take the Heat without Butler. I'm not willing to take the Heat without Butler and Dragic. And right now, it doesn't look like Dragic is going to play, which means I'm not going to play the game because I'm not stepping in front of that trend. And look, Phoenix is what they are. I know they're playing better. Are they going to sweep through the bubble? I mean, I guess stranger things can happen. I'm not in a rush to bet against either one of these teams today. It's a pass for me. Real quick, I want to talk just briefly, and it's Lakers. It's a Lakers game. No one minds if I go back to it real quick. But in terms of Turner and Warren for today, that line was 5.5. It got bet up to 7 when LeBron was announced as in, and now we see money come back the other way. That makes me think that somebody thinks that Turner and Warren are going to play today and not sit. It's not a done deal. We have no further info, but based on the line move, that's the way it looks right now, at least for this bettor's eyes. Got
you. And with all these injuries, in my opinion, if you're betting them, and it's tough because you want to bet it before. If you like a side, you want to bet it before it gets up, but it's like you don't really know what's gonna go on with these questionable guys, and the line's gonna move either way. Like if you like the Lakers, Now you gotta give them that, because if Turner and Warren is out, then it's gonna go up. I mean, it's just inevitable. But if they're in, then it's gonna go the other way. So it's like, I want to say wait till the last minute with some of these games, but then the lineup then got away from you. So
yeah, well,
that's one thing I want to say.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off at all, Jay, but I'm saying keep that SBR on screen open.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's no reason that shouldn't be open on your device all day. You know,
yeah, Teddy.
And that way you're sitting there, and as soon as the one book gets hit, you're like, bang!
Mm-hmm.
Now I got to make it. Now I know what's happening, and now I can make my bet. But that's a very valuable tool, those live odds, and of course they're free at sportsreview.com.
Right. Yeah. I mean, one that, you know, we do that, Teddy. Everybody, they don't do that. They don't sit at a computer all day looking at the odds. I mean, I'm even on my phone looking at different books to see which one changed. Oh, would they change this, or everybody else finna going to change? So you professional. I mean, I'm not saying I'm a professional, but if you're really on like that, you serious about doing it, you have the time, then you'll look at those lines all day. We got one more game today, man. We got the Bucks versus the Mavs, guys. The Bucks here full squad. So we know so far, we know that they just clinched the number one seed officially. You know, officially knew they was probably gonna get it. Still some moving parts here with my Mavs team, man. We got Finney Smith, he's questionable here, and Seth Curry's questionable as well. He's been out a couple games. Hopefully, we can get him back today, man. In my opinion, I think my Mavs going all out for this one, and they pissed. They desperate. I mean, you know what I'm saying? They hadn't covered the point spread here yet. They're 1-3. They got to win this game. They hung in there tight with the Clippers. Clippers damn near, I ain't gonna say full squad. Obviously, Harold still out, Barry still out, but even with Kawhi and Paul George going after Luka, he still ended up with 29 points on a bad shooting night. And Kristaps Porzingis still did what he did. He's looked good out here, man. We need some of them guards to step up though, but I think we didn't already beat the Bucks this year, man, in Milwaukee without Luka, man. I think we're going to go for the season sweep today. Mavs desperate, more motivated team. I'm taking them with the 5.5. Junior, what you got in this game? Or Teddy, what you got, my guy?
So I'm on the other side of this one. And the more I looked at it, the more I haven't gotten to the window yet, but I may bet the Bucks today. And it all comes down to, you know, everyone said, oh, the Bucks went on a 20-0 run in the fourth quarter of the game. They got lucky. Yeah, I did get lucky to cash that ticket. But it also spoke to what Coach Budenholzer was saying prior to the game, which is the time is now. We're not, you know, waiting for next week. We're not waiting for the playoff start. You know, we're ready we need to go right here. And I'm getting that sense of urgency from Milwaukee. And I think the fact that they did lose to Dallas already, and that Dallas is a difficult defensive matchup for them, that's a motivator for a team like the Bucks. The Mavs haven't covered spreads in the bubble because the Mavs have been an overvalued commodity in the bubble. And when you're not playing defense, and again, against the Clippers, their offense is insane. You know, everyone looking great. Luka has a huge day. But defensively, the stops aren't there for Dallas. I think Milwaukee can get stops. I'm not convinced Dallas can. The lean favorite in this one. Haven't pulled the trigger, but I don't want the dog.
Junior, you there, my guy?
Yeah, I'm here. You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, bro. What's up? What you think in this one?
Yeah, I pulled the trigger on the over, though. I think that right now, just to echo on what Teddy said, Dallas's defense right now is horrendous. They're giving up 117.9 points per 100 possessions, which if that was the regular season, they'd be worse than the Wizards. Their defense is nowhere to be found. And what had me actually get on the over, which was the final nail, is the Bucks defense has not been – I mean, listen, they have the best defense in the NBA. But right now, so far in the bubble, the defense has been so-so. It hasn't been great. They let the G League Nets put up 73 points in the first half against them, and Giannis and Middleton played in that first half. So I just don't like the way that their offense looks. Let me just echo another thing that Teddy said. When the Mavs beat the Bucks the first time, they put up a $120 without Luka. Now, obviously, they're missing some other guys, but I think that they can get in that neighborhood, probably like 115. I think that the Bucks can put up a good 125 plus on this terrible-looking Mavericks defense. And by the way, without Dwight Powell, without Willie Cauley-Stein, who's guarding Giannis on Dallas? That could get real ugly.
We got some guys we're gonna throw at them. Giannis gonna get his. I don't give a damn who you got out there as your defensive stopper.
No, I'm just talking about
the rest. No, you guys make great points, man. You got no.
I just mean athletically.
Yeah, I mean they're gonna throw some guy. I'll tell you who, and I'm not. It's not. They're not gonna stop him. And then we definitely need Finney Smith in there. He's gonna be one of the guys. He's gonna need Maxi Cleaver to throw another big guy. I'm gonna have to throw Porzingis. Might have to guard him some. So I mean they're gonna have to throw like 4 different guys in them. But I can't tell you. It just seems like they have a plan to where. So you know the plan to stop Giannis. Pretty much pack the paint. Damn near run a zone if you have to, and force the Bucks to make threes. And lately they hadn't really been hitting them outside shots. That's why they were down 17 to the damn Heat. I know the Mavs aren't the Heat, but I mean, the boys just look like they're not really motivated out there. And like I say, even though I know they're trying to get closer, they're still trying to stay healthy before the play. And it's really one of the main things, trying to get the chemistry right. You still want to stay healthy. I mean, a little bit of injury here, there. It's like, oh shit, let me take the guys out, man. I just think the Mavs, they're really going for this one like it's a fucking Super Bowl, in my opinion, even though their guys are out. But I just really think they're going for this one. I really think they're going for this one, in my opinion. Anything can happen. I mean, they could get blown out the damn water, but I'm just going with the more motivated team here. Like I say, I'm taking it light right now. You never know what the hell. I still don't even know if Finney Smith is going to be a Nora Curry, but I still like the Mavs 5.5. If the guys are announcing, I think it might go down to 4.5, in my opinion. And with all the Bucks money, the line still hadn't moved as well. What you got, Teddy?
Well, I was going to say that. I mean, make no mistake about it. This is the week before the playoffs in April. Okay, where you have the last, 3 or 4 regular season games, and it's always who's going to play, who's not going to play, who's motivated, who's not going to play, be motivated. That last week for the playoffs is no different in a regular year than it is this year, where your wagers, your unit sizes are a little bit smaller. You're taking things a little bit, with a grain of salt.
Right.
I'm not going balls to the wall this last week in the NBA. You're not going to see a whole lot of max size wagers. Let's get a little bit of action, see if we can pick some winners. But the last week of the regular season, you may find a spot or two to load up on. But whatever, my wagers today are standard size or smaller.
Got you. What's up, DJ Big Balls? My guy, man. What you liking, DJ? My guy in there, man. What's up, man? But yeah, Junior, you want to recap? We're going to go ahead and get out of here, Junior. You want to recap what your plays, my guy?
Yeah, for sure. Shout out DJ Big Boss, a real legend.
My guy.
Yeah, good guy. I only got 2 plays. I got Los Nuggets. They're not so spicy lately, but I got the Nuggets minus 1.5. And I don't think that there's going to be too much defense played in this game. And I want to just mention something else. Another reason why I took the over in this game, Milwaukee's already clinched. I can't stand these situations with teams that have already clinched. I think if they hadn't clinched, you might see a better defensive effort, but I just think there's going to be more of the same where they just score so many points that Dallas is going to put up 115. I think Milwaukee's going to put up a $120 or more. So I got the over 232.5 in that game as well.
Got you, Teddy. What you got? And Teddy, one last thing, Teddy, you pointed out to me after a team clinches, you don't want them the few games. Even though I know the Bucks said that they coming, but Teddy, we know even the last game when they were supposed to be coming, they didn't look good in that first half, bro. I mean, come on. I know, man. Anything can happen, though. I just hope they don't bust my team's ass today. We can lose by 5, and I still get the cash.
Sure, I got no problem with that. I like I said, I haven't bet it yet. But I'm not going to be on the Dallas side if I make a wager in that game. The only have in pocket right now, I got Denver -1 in pocket. I'm thinking about, and I'll tell you what, Junior's over for Milwaukee Dallas. That makes a ton of sense to me as well. I'm going to take another look at that. And I love, I do my own capping every day. But sometimes someone says something and it kind of sticks in your head a little bit. You're like, hey, I better take another look at that. And as he's talking about that made a ton of sense to me. I'm like, I'm going to take another look at that over. But the only thing I have in pocket right now is Denver.
My guy, Junior Sharp there, man. You know what? I was laying that way. We got a little hidden angle on it. Well, let's make it 3 in a row then. I'm not going to get no spicy nuggets. But I'm gonna hop on them, man. We're gonna hop on. We're gonna make it a trifecta with all 3 of us on the show, man. Let's make it a good Saturday. We're gonna hop on the Nuggets, man. I like him too, man. We hopefully Donovan Mitchell sit out and we make it even better. But even with a full goal, we think the Jazz try to tip their hat to the Nuggets here, maybe late in the fourth quarter. Y'all know what we're trying to do, man. We're trying to get some cash pretty much every day, even tomorrow. No show tomorrow, but we definitely will be back on Monday. We appreciate everybody for watching. Y'all hit the like button if you can, if you like the content, if you like us, giving out free picks, man. We'll be back on Monday. We appreciate everybody for tuning in. Thank you for jamming with J Money.